family have some authority of their South American drug cartels as well. John Paul Getty was considered the wealthiest man in America in his time. Prince Leone Rispoli Sforza was a top executive for the Banco Romano and worked on the Italian Bank of the South. He's also the Italian High Commissioner of the Sovereign Military Order of Malta and ambassador for the military order. The Sovereign Military Order of Malta. The Sovereign Military Order of Malta is the oldest knighthood in the world, and its headquarters is in Rome at the Palazzo Malta. The Southern Military Order of Malta is considered a sovereign entity under international law under United Nations. They also have extraterritoriality within Italy. Many members of the royal families and heads of constitutional monarchies are members of the SMOM. What makes the SOM different from all other knighthoods is that it is a sovereign entity. The SOMN is an entity that has higher authority than the Vatican. And members include King Carlos of Spain, Queen Paola of Belgium, Queen Beatrix of Netherlands. You can read the rest here. The Sovereign Council of the Order of Malta is a top military council in the world. The Australian nobility have always been connected with the SOMON. It was the Italian nobility, Australian nobility, and their Knights of Malta that created the fascists and Nazis and orchestrated World War I and World War II. William F. Buckley was a Knight of Malta and conservative political commentator in the U.S. Pat Buchanan is another conservative political commentator and Knight of Malta. J. Peter Grace was an American businessman, politician, and member of the Council for National Polity and Knight of Malta. The Nazi Vice Chancellor Franz von Papen was a Knight of Malta. Dwight D. Eisenhower was the only officially known Knight of Malta that has been President of the United States. The Knight of Malta, Joseph Smith, was Inspector General for the Department of Defense under George W. Bush and was executive under the private military company Blackwater Worldwide, now renamed Academia. Joseph Smith was a professor at Jesuit Georgetown and worked as a political advisor for Donald Trump during his elections. And you can read about all the Knights of Malta list here. Other Knights of Malta include CIA Director James McCone, William Casey, William Colby, who was nicknamed the Warrior Priest. Knight of Malta Alexander Craig was a U.S. Army General, U.S. Secretary of State under Ronald Reagan, and White House Chief of Staff under Richard Nixon and Gerald Ford. Haig was also Jesuit educated at Georgetown. He was the one covertly running the Pentagon and White House during the 70s and 80s. The CIA was founded by William Donovan, who was nicknamed the Father of Central Intelligence, and he was knighted by 2 Vatican orders and likely a Knight of Malta. Jesuit-educated CIA directors include Robert Gates, George Tenet, Leon Panetta, Michael Morrell, David Petraeus, and John Brennan, and they are overseen by the Order of Malta. The Jewish order was established by the Farnese family under Pope Paul III, or Alessandro Farnese, through the papal bull called Regimini Militis Ecclesiae, military regiment of the Church. The Farnese family lived in a pentagonal fortress called the Farnese Villa Caparola. The Vatican Knights and Jesuits, as well as the Knights of Malta, are deeply involved with U.S. military intelligence. The House of Colonna hold the continual position of Prince Assistants to the papal throne to the Vatican. They claim to be Julio-Claudian dynasty of ancient Rome and directly descend from Peter Colonna and the Counts of Tusculum. The Colonna family used